Hi, this is Robbie from Southern California. You know, it's evening, the sun is going down, and I'm going to water my plants. I'm starting to wonder if some of you aren't watering right, especially when you're in the heat. I've had a few of you say you use a hose. That was an interesting comment. Here, we do have access to water. So yes, I'm going to use a hose. Let me talk about this. If you just water and just put in a little bit of water every day, you don't know where the water is going. And I'm starting to wonder if some of you in these hot areas, I'm hoping you can hear me, are actually watering right. I literally blast the water into the totes. I don't go right by their roots, but I go around the plant. By blasting it into the tote or even on the ground, you are mixing up the water and the dry soil. Now, if you just pour water on top, it's going to create a river, and it's going to run away from the plant. It doesn't take me long to water, but this way of blasting, see how I'm blasting it? Is actually mixing up the water into the dry soil, if it's dry. I don't have a problem, really, if it's drying out. It doesn't really dry out. When you go around and just take a watering can and just water your plants, you literally are just doing a top surface watering. It will go to the sides of your tote or your flower pot. If you're watering in the ground, it will disappear somewhere else, and it won't spread around. This spreads around really good. I mean, I've got tomatoes and squash. I haven't lost any plants from the heat. I almost lost some cucumbers by leaving them on too long. This splash creates water mixing up with the soil, and at the same time, you are putting oxygen back into the soil. I saw somebody go around at a garden show one day, and they were showing these little tiny nozzles, and the guy was selling them for $10 each, and the garden guy that was doing it, I'm not going to say who, it doesn't matter, was so excited. He said, look, for $10, maybe it was 20, but whatever the price was, you get to put oxygen. They were promoting oxygen into your soil. It was a hose. You know what it was? He was selling a little nozzle that goes for driveways when you want to wash down your driveway. And I recognized it right away, but that's not what he was selling it as. He was selling it as an oxygenizer. In other words, you're going to get oxygen into your soil. And he was right, but you don't need that. You can take your hose and give it a good blast. I wouldn't go directly on top of your plant, but I go next to it. I go on the side maybe, and it really splashes in there. I only do this once a day. I don't water more than once a day in the high heat. There's no reason to. I come back the next day and I still see water. Oh, let me fill this up. I have a watering can here. Okay, it is full. I've got new cucumbers coming up in here. I put some seeds. I just started putting seeds around. I've got a new one coming, 2 of them coming up in here, 3 in there, and another one in there. I want to get more cucumbers growing. This time of the year is a good time to start planting more cucumbers because they fizzle out. Where squash and zucchini, they can go and go. A lot of these zucchini in here, they'll go all through the winter unless we get a really bad freeze. But think about it, check and think and look at how you're watering your plants. If you're just gently doing a little dribble, you're not giving it a good hard water. And in the heat, I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. And we've been hot. Now today we weren't, but we have been hot. And as you can see when I do a garden tour, I haven't lost any plants. Nothing new that I planted. I'm sure there's something around here that died out. I had a couple zucchini die out, but it was interesting. The ones that did dry up and disappear on me, I'm going to water my ponds, was the yellow zucchini. I have a couple of them left, and those were the ones that fizzled out. And I've never had a yellow zucchini plant go through the winter, even well into the fall. So it might be just something about that genetic makeup of the yellow zucchini. The regular Black Beauty or any of the regular ones, they go through the winter many times if it's a light winter. Oh, let me go over here too. And cocoselle, the gray squash. There's another one, the Mexican gray squash. When they grow fruit, and then once they get enough fruit, they die back, so do the cocoselle. So kind of go back and analyze how you're watering. I know a lot of you have been about 105. We haven't really gotten to that. I don't think we've gotten to that heat yet. Most of our heat, more to 100. We've gotten to 100, 101, but we're still hot. It's still hard on plants. So I want you to go back and look at your plants. And if you're going back, let's say you're watering in the evening, and you're going back in the morning or in the early afternoon, they're dry, you're not giving it a good water. See if that works for you. Because I really get in there and I blast the water in. Sometimes even harder than this. Hit those up there. And I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Gary had a problem. He thought his tomatoes were drying out due to his soil. Turned out he wasn't giving it a good blast. Now what he did, he ended up, I don't think he blasts his plants, but he ended up digging a hole or a ditch next to his tomatoes, like in front of it. And then now he waters the trench really good. And that's kind of the same thing. So if you trench around your plants, and we're talking good trench. We're not talking about a little shallow trench, but a really, really good trench. I've got to get this in. This is a nice one. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them, but this one is super nice. I like this. A good trench, blast it in there and left will do the same thing as what I'm doing. I just water everything. I mean, look how green everything is. And we're still in the middle of summer. And then my chair garden, the same thing. It's going good. So that's all I wanted to talk about today because, like I said, I come out in the evening only. I do very little during the day now because it's just too hot. I'm not going to come out here and get heat exhaustion from trying to do stuff when I can wait. In about a month, we'll have hot and cold and hot and cold. And I do come out in the evening, like now. The sun is gone, the sun is down, we're at sunset. And today we ended up with clouds, even though the weather says we were not going to be cloudy. So that was interesting. So think about blasting it. Don't do it right next to the plant. Do it about 6 to 8 inches away. Blast it in there. And then you can also, after you do that, water a little bit so the soil, if you made a hole, kind of fills in with water and other soil. And I think you might see a difference in your plants. Here's a zucchini. This one in here, I didn't even pick the squash. Look at this. Last year's plant. I don't know. I can tell by touching it. It's hard. Where this has got a really nice soft skin, and the other one's real hard. It's gonna have to go into an electric grater because it is just too hard. But look at your plants, and hopefully that gives you an idea on watering. A watering can just won't do it. It's like painting on a board. You're just getting surface water, and you need to get penetrated water down inside. There's a few other tricks I can help you with. I use plastic containers, and I have a certain way of, I haven't done it for a while, but I used to use juice bottles and a certain way of setting them up, and that will feed water. But to me, this is the best way. And what you saw me do, that was really slow. I'm much faster than that. I go through and I shoot the water in and then go on to the next group, and I'm gonna do them. And then I might do the driveway. If I see it's still damp, I'll wait till tomorrow to do it. But get that water in there, make that water mix up with the soil. And I think you might see a difference. Your plants might come back because you may be getting just a nice trickle in there, and it's not penetrating the soil, and it's just kind of dissipating off to the side, and it's not going where you want it to go. So try trenching like Gary does, which is right in front of the plant or around the plant, and we're talking about a good deep trench, or just blast it all around the plant and see if that will make a difference on some of your plants that are still going strong for the summer. So with that, have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Sounds like a watermelon, but this is a good one. Bye-bye. Wow. Now that's the fountain. I really splashed the dickens out of a lot of this stuff. This is actually something I enjoy, to come out and be part of nature. And my cousin, he's a life coach, my mother's brother's son. He has a whole video on how important it is to be part of nature. Maybe you should check it out. I'll put the link. I'm actually going slow for you, because normally I would be done here in probably less than 5 minutes. So now I'm talking to you. But no, it's fast. So the bird garden takes me 5 minutes, if that. The chair garden is 2 minutes, literally. You saw. The wall, let's give it 5 there, even though I took a little longer today, so that's 5, 10. The rainbow garden, the same thing. Let's say 5. It doesn't take me that long, so it's 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, let's say 20, 25, less than 30 minutes. And then the front yard, some of the stuff there. So in less than 30 minutes at night, and you know what? This is enjoyable to me. I actually find this relaxing. I have no cell phone on me. Don't have to think about anything but my plants and nature, and look at the beautiful sky and watch the birds fly by if there's any birds. I saw a bat the other night, and that's what I enjoy. So I have 30 minutes of peace with nature and the water. That's it. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't take me that long. And then Gary goes in and he hand waters his thing. Let's take a peek. You know how we do it? He doesn't know we're watching. So we can really look. You think he's pretending he doesn't know we're here? Look at this. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He never knows when I've got the camera on. Now this is his greenhouse room. You want to see what's on the ground there? See that big green pile? That is my turmeric I didn't plant. It's growing in a bucket without soil, which is not a good thing. And then he's got some stuff growing. He can wave. You want to wave? He's waving. So he goes in, he waters his plants. I still have seedlings. I don't know if you can see that in the shoebox. That is dragon fruit. I've got a lot of stuff in there. More stuff than I even want to think about. I don't know. And then I'll show you my cilantro. It's already so late. Look at that. The sun is gone. But look at my cilantro. This is a little seedling. And look at, this one's going to seed. I know technically you're supposed to cut this off. You can't see it. But I'm not going to cut it off. I'll get some seeds out of it maybe. That's it. It's dark. The camera is making it a little lighter, but it's dark. So with that, have a wonderful day. Don't forget to eat what you grow again. Bye-bye.